finally ready. We've got our 3, 2, 1, and pills.
All right. A lot of blue there on top for JB. That's got some potential to be a problem, although these blue yellows to start gonna be very helpful in that. Larva with almost the opposite problem. She doesn't really have as much for blue use for blue, and we do see her get that double blue one pill too late. She could have had a cross clear, and Larva, she was doing those in the previews. I feel like she really would have wanted that.
Mhm. Say Larva's doing a really good job using every single pill half. She's being very efficient here. That pill on the right was the first one that she felt like she needed to throw away. And look at that sweet tea with all yellows. So she's a little bit ahead right now. JB's still working through the situation with so much blue and so much red, but getting a little bit of a convenient red blue blitz at the moment to help him out.
Yep. And Larva's gonna get exactly what
Mhm.
she needs to pull
Yeah.
off that fat log. She's left herself and on the edges though, and that could be a slowing down point. Although she's getting exactly the pills she needs yet again, and that's always going to be great. And yeah, this end game is turning out to be much better than you would expect, given where the pills were or the
Mhm.
viruses were just a second ago. She's going to be out here at a 124.
Yeah, that was a really nice horizontal play at the end, and JB out at a 132. And yeah, he was locked up on that right-hand side as well, which always causes a little bit of a problem. But a good opening horizontal from JB chooses not to use the double blue to take out that center, but I think he will now straight down. That's my favorite move in the whole game when you're able to just drop a horizontal as is.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. JB though, again, not having much use. Well, it's the opposite problem. Last level, he had way too much blue. This time, he's got not nearly enough at the top. Looking over at Larva's board, she was making some really good progress. Okay, then there's that. That just happened. So, yeah, I was a little concerned for her, and she's doing the thing that so many of our high level players do, and just making the commentators look like fools, which isn't hard to do when I'm commentating, but definitely pulling off some really sick moves there. And yeah, Larva's been playing verses and helping out with verses all year, and it's really showing in her play.
Mhm. And yeah, she's definitely a watcher of all of those excellent players. She learns from their strategies and that's really paying off here. And she's just got a tiny lead over JB though. And even though there's a little bit of a time differential, Larva's up there very high with all of those reds, so she's going to have to take drop time. JB's situation much nicer. He's got 3 viruses left, and if yellows show up, it's going to be a low drop time situation, very quick off the board, and he's going to be out at a 316.
Yeah, Larva not going to be far behind. Was able to get that horizontal on the yellow in column 3. Now just needs to get this yellow in column 8, and she will be out at a 325.
Mhm. And JB already with 5 viruses off of level 8 had a really nice tuck in, I believe, column 2 to just keep things really efficient. And no garbage left to speak of on this board. A little bit slow maneuvering for JB, but everything's going in the right place and great combos back to back from Larva.
Yeah, she's been getting the right pills in order to just make things work out. And we talk. I'm starting to feel like a broken record here because I've mentioned before we talk a lot about doubles, but sometimes it's just as important that your board be set up for other pill combinations. Doubles work out really well, but man, oh man, when you've got a bunch of blues and yellows right next to each other, and you start getting blue yellow pills, it really has a tendency to speed your levels up, and that has been the case for Larva so far. But looking over at JB, he is down to just needing a lot of reds and just one yellow. Is going to prioritize. Okay, I
Ooh.
see what his plan is.
Oh, I really wanted him to go horizontal with that double red there to take out the 2 at the top. But
Um,
he's going smoothly here. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to mention the bridge building that he is doing.
Mm.
Feel like he would want to have it. set up one space higher just in case a double red shows up. He's out at a 458. Thank you, JB, for giving me exactly the lesson I was trying to teach. Uh, so, yeah, now Larva just needs a
Mm.
handful of yellows. She is going to be behind the 8 ball, though, going into level 9.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate because she's got everything set up. She's got a horizontal for low drop time, although it did take out a little bit of that extra garbage, finally getting it out at a 519. But JB already going to work here and getting a nice red blue blitz here. That's really going to open up that left hand side, which doesn't have a lot of diversity, Ook.
Yeah, that's gonna be well, I mean, he's got a little of everything, just he doesn't have much of some things. Yellow in particular is something that JB's gonna struggle with until he gets later on in the board. And then red is gonna become the problem at that point. Meanwhile, Larva's side, yellow is
Mhm.
her problem right now as well. And every pill, it seems like, has at least one yellow half. Wasn't able to get a flip on that one. Things are looking a little dire for her. She's got some garbage, and she really needs to be making up some time here if she wants to catch up and try to take this game number one.
But if you take a look at JB's board, he's got a really good thing going. If he drops a red yellow on column one, it's going to clear everything cascade down a little bit slower. But wow, he does not need it. There we go. He's in very, very good shape, although he's not going to be able to get a horizontal with the double blue there in column 7 and 8, like would be maybe the most efficient thing to do, but he's got time. And Larva's still struggling with a lot of this blue. She's doing everything she can to keep it moving, but it's slow going.
Yeah, it's just been the pills have not come for her, and it's really been a bit of a struggle. But JB is going to be out at a 658, and he will be taking game number one in this best of three.
Mhm. And Larva topping out, going to get ready for the second game. Of course, we're going to have that best of three, as you just said. And, we always want to see more Dr. Mario. We want those deciders, especially with players this close. It was a shame to see the end of that 8 there for Larva with the RNG. But both of them showing that they have made a lot of improvements in the finesse, in the moves, in the horizontals. All the pieces are coming together.
Absolutely. So we're going to see what these two can give us for game number two. So once we get those readies in,
All right, we got readies from both players. 3, 2, 1, and pills.
all right, JB out of the gate first with a board that honestly I like. It's got enough diversity at the top line and isn't going to cause any problems, I don't think. Larvis is pretty floaty, but
Mm,
she's
that
got a lot
move.
of double setups, and yeah, that was a really smart move. Getting those, getting those reds taken care of in double form. She doesn't really need any red right now, though.
Yeah, and so you see she stuck that red blue on top of column 5, I guess, and nice drop with the horizontal there. But yeah, she's leaving herself open to have that one piece of trash. She might be waiting for it for quite some time, but manages to clear it out. And these two still very neck and neck here. JB clearly throwing the blues to the bottom to try to set up horizontals there.
I thought maybe he was going to try that swim there. So it
Mm.
is possible to have gotten that double yellow over into column one. That is a technique known as swimming to those who are not regularly in the community, but ended up just it is difficult to get into that one spot. And JB, you can see with old Shucky Darn going on, that is a failure to count to four.
Yes, and we all know that and colors are quite difficult. And so Larva's got a nice chance to move ahead with a very clean end game and going out at a 130. Yeah, she had much more of her board open to work with and some horizontals. You always want to have both horizontals and verticals available to you at your end game. Larva was working very clean there. JB struggling with the fact that he's got a lot of blue on this board, and uh, now he's got a tuck to use it. Oh, and misses that
Ooh.
tuck. So that is going to take quite a bit of time.
I will say though, he had a really sweet oh, there we go.
Yeah,
He had a
there it
really
is.
sweet underclear move to get the
Ooh.
yellow that he had as well. It involved like 3 moves at the bottom of the board, so it was really nice, really good play. But yeah, that extra bit of time there at the end is gonna be that's gonna be a tough one for him to get over here. But luckily for him, it happened in level 6 and not in level 8, so we'll see where this board is going to take him.
Yeah, and if you're going to have trouble with your end game, you want it to be at a time like this where your opponent's board had a little bit of trouble getting off the ground. There was all of this red there for Larva, and stuff was up very high. So it didn't move very quickly. She had a big time advantage, but the board just didn't get it going. And she was able to set up everything so that there wasn't going to be garbage falling down in bad places. I think she's setting up for a T here or a cross. Very nicely done with those blues. So with that, she opens up much bigger lead.
Yeah, definitely another big versus move there. It it all worked out for her. Looks like she's gonna set up for another cross clear. It's gonna cause
Mhm.
some garbage, but I think she was looking at garbage either way. So Larva now down to just 2 viruses to JB's 11, so about a 9 virus lead here for Larva.
Mhm.
And she's hoping to make a couple more yellows. Or a couple more reds rather. Colors, like we said, out at a 337.
And meanwhile, JB would love a red blue to tuck into columns 1 and 2 to get that going. But it's really tough when you end up, ooh, this double blue working out great. It's really tough when you end up with things in just one column. That double red really helping out. And he's choosing not to take the drop time, which at the end of a level like this is a smart move. So he just needs a couple more reds and he'll be out. And there we go. Now it's going to cause a little bit of cascading garbage, but just one more red. He's out at a 410.
And Larva, the top of her board, you can see there's still quite a bit of garbage hanging out there. That has slowed her down some, but she is looking for methods to just get these blues out of the way. Um, Gotta wonder. Yep, she had a cross clear in mind. Still has one bit of blue garbage, but the board looking a lot cleaner than it did just 10 or 12 seconds ago. So that is going to work out for her and passes the garbage on down to the bottom of the board with a 7 virus lead, though. So things are not looking critical just yet.
Mhm. That's true. And JB with a big combo drop down to the bottom, he does have some setups where he could be trying to build horizontals to those yellows and those reds towards the top, but those are complicated. And they require like a lot of extra planning. And I think he's just showing with those garbage drops that he's trying to simplify that. But he's 10 viruses behind at the moment. And Larva's setting up this horizontal combo or a horizontal clear, rather, and a couple more yellows, and she'll clear out of the situation, leaving the bottom open. So she's got a good, easy path to her end game. And JB's pretty floaty.
Yeah, everything's kind of hanging out high on JB's board. I gotta wonder if he's thinking about a horizontal on that yellow in column 7. It will take some time, but he's got enough other viruses that he can take that time and really focus on it as Larva now already into level 9. But yeah, it's not the board he wants to see. I'll put it that way.
Mhm. He's able to clear out. Now, Larva in a bit of a fix with her column 2 and now her column 4. That was a big misdrop in the center of the board, which is going to be slow going to manage around. She's got column 2 figured out now, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with that center column. If it had been a couple of pills earlier, I actually might have topped out and started again.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be doing that now, especially with your opponent into level 9 as well. And JP gets a nice board, a lot of,
Mm,
that pair of doubles right in the center and gets the pills for it. That's going to possibly be an indicator that he is going to be able to really move with this board.
mm, for sure. Would love to see him get those yellows off the center of the board. He's about 10 viruses back from Larva, who still has that garbage there, but now she's got an underclear opportunity. She's going to bring that down. And there's still garbage on top, but maneuverability is the name of the game. And now she can freely maneuver without slowing down around that stack.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, it's taking some time for her to get viruses clear. JB is now 6 viruses behind and closing the gap. Larva
Oof.
getting that center pretty well cleared out, but look at the difference in how clean the boards are.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And
Larva
JB
in a
has
bit
taken
of
the
a
lead.
yeah, she's definitely in a bit of a situation, and like you said, JB with the lead here. Larva though getting red yellows, that's a good sign. That's a good thing that she needs. Uh, and let's just see what happens here. This is going to be a close one right at the end.
And JB is making the decision where he is just tossing away any yellow that wasn't attached to a red as well. And you may think, okay, well, why isn't he just using the yellow all the time? And it's because he wants to avoid the drop time. And wow, this double red perfect for him. And he has sniped it from Larva to take the match.
All right, and at 8:09, GG's to JB, and GG's and commiserations to Larva as well.